Hello everyone. Unable to hear me, make sure to put it down in the comment section. I can make some changes to my settings. So we are about to start now our live session on 8 important skills to become a data engineer. I would suggest let's wait for 2 minutes for everyone else to join. Let's see if someone else is joining or not. But hopefully today is going to be a interesting session for all of you who want to become a data engineer and want to pursue the art of data. So let's wait for 2 minutes and see if some people are joining. If you have any questions, let's say you want to learn something out of this live session, put them down in the comment section so I can address them in these 2 minutes. So I think that would be the best utilization of these 2 minutes that we all are waiting for. So I already have some questions here, basically talking about asking different things. Hopefully, we will have some more questions, but I can see 3 people are already watching this YouTube live session. Hello to all of you. Uh, let's wait some more time, a little bit. Also, do share this link with your friends, whoever wants to watch it. I think it's an important topic, and there's a reason I'm doing this topic, especially after 3 years in the data engineering field. I think it is very important to discuss the certain things that companies these days expect from candidates, the certain skill sets that everyone wants to see in candidates. Hopefully, we will discuss all of them and have a nice session about it. All right. So, before we start, let's discuss some questions that have already come up. I think the most important thing is one of the persons into tech actually asked me what happened to the Python 30 course. Will it continue or not? The truth is, I have been super busy with my own work in my office. I recently went to France as part of a training program, and I was giving training to some of my colleagues in our sister company in France, and therefore its preparation, the entire journey took a long time, and therefore didn't have time to actually make Python 30 videos. But don't worry, the course is going to continue. We are going to have super interesting topics that are discussed during the Python 30 course, and hopefully all of them are interesting and highly knowledgeable for you. So for those people who are concerned about Python 30 course, don't worry, we'll soon have all the topics, and I'm going to start the Python 30 course pretty soon. The next topic in Python 30 is actually going to be object-oriented programming. So that is one topic everyone has been requesting me for a long time. So that's the next topic that is going to be. Is it possible to make a big project? We will discuss all these questions. I think the message got retracted, but so let's start. A couple of big announcements. One, I saw that a lot of people are interested to learn about Python tips, short codes for writing Python codes for certain questions. Like how to find the most common element in a list, or what is the max element in a dictionary, or how to create a queuing system in a Python list, something like that. So recently I have started to use Instagram a lot for showing those codes, because those questions, answering those questions are very small to put it in a blog. All right. So what I am doing now is I'm creating Instagram posts and I'm sharing those posts every day. So if you want to learn more about Python tips, tricks, shortcuts, questions, I have a polling system also. So every morning you get an update on my Instagram account on various things related to Python. So if you want to get a daily dose of Python every morning, just you don't have time to go through a whole video, read a whole blog, just subscribe to my Instagram page. It's Pi Lenin only, and there you will get a daily 30-second dose of Python every day. So it's really useful, especially for those people who don't have much time and are busy in their own work. I think it's a super fantastic platform for talking about this kind of topics. Second thing, I think I recently started a blogging website, pilenin.com, and basically the idea is we want to have a Python Python dedicated website for all the people. Basically, the thing is, these days, if you go to medium.com, which is one of the super interesting websites for learning different topics, if you type in linear regression, you will find hundreds of articles written by different kinds of people. So then you don't know which article to follow, which article to not follow, especially if you want to learn everything about a topic. So here the idea is we have one topic for one post for every topic, and every time someone wants to make a change or update certain things, they can directly create a pull request and they can easily update it. We will add the information of the authors directly to the post. So basically it's like everyone is collaborating to create the best version of a topic. Right. So I think this is one of the great steps that we have taken in order to create a democratized platform for Python. So make sure to check out pilenin.com, check out all the articles that are already there. A lot of people have already contributed articles. If you want to contribute articles, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can easily go ahead and create a PR. It's very easy to contribute articles, share your knowledge, because Pilenin website is all about sharing your knowledge and making everyone aware of your knowledge and skill sets. So let's go ahead, let's be proactive about this website. So we can easily go ahead and do this. So let's move on to the major thing that we are here to discuss. 8 important skill sets that are required for becoming a data engineer. So I have been working as a data engineer for 3 years now. And recently also I talked to my recruiters, basically my CTO or my manager in the company, and we talk about things that they want to see in data engineers or in fact in any job profile. So I have made a list of 8 important things that everyone should be aware of, especially in this age of technology. I think these topics are very easy to learn, and especially have a hands-on experience so that in a data engineering interview or when you're applying for such a position, you are not short-handed, right? So let's go through all those topics and discuss what skill sets you need to develop over time in if you want to become a data engineer. Now, data engineer, the world needs a lot more data engineers. Data has become way more valuable than petroleum or I don't know, anything that you want to compare. I think data is the most valuable asset that companies are working on these days. In fact, a lot of companies currently are making millions and millions of dollars just on data. One of the examples is Nielsen. Basically, I was working for Nielsen in my previous company, and their entire business model is based on data. So I think it's a very important skill set. It's a very important position, and there are going to be a lot of demands in the field of data engineering in the upcoming years. So let's go through all the skill sets one by one. Make sure if you have any question, put them down in the comment section. I will surely address them. Yeah. So the first is you need to learn a programming language. I think that's given. You already know this, but I want to focus on what kind of programming language. Also, what to learn in a programming language. Now, programming language you can use to do a lot of things, right? You can use it for making websites. You can use it as a scripting language. You can use it for I don't know, debugging, automation, testing, a lot of things. But I think any programming language you pick, you need to know how to extract, read, and transform data. I think that's one of the most important functionalities that you need to know. Let's say you like Python or you like JavaScript. Learn how you can read different kinds of files like JSON files, CSV files, Excel files, pickle files. Learn how you can parse data from web pages, how to use the request library. So basically making a get request or a post request. Learn how to do those things using any language of your choice. Now, I am biased to Python because Python makes all of these tasks very easy for the user without having to get into too much intricate details or without having to write too many lines of code. So I think Python is really useful for these kind of things, and therefore I highly recommend, if choose Python, or if you don't choose Python, whatever language you like, make sure to perform these kind of operations with the programming language. I think it's very important. During the process, you are going to learn a lot of things, like how is data ingested, how do you transform data, how you clean data, what kind of data is the stakeholder expecting, stuff like that. So learning a Python language, learning a programming language, and especially learning these various aspects that I described just now are very important. Number one, for becoming a data engineer. So make sure you put a lot of effort. In fact, in my YouTube channel, there is a section or a playlist dedicated to data engineering. I think that is going to be very useful for all of you who want to practice those kind of things. So go ahead and check it out. I will also put that down in the description below after this live session is over. Next, now you learn about data ingesting data, you learn about transforming data, but as a data engineer you have to work with databases, right? It's very rarely it is going to happen that your data will be stored in an Excel file or a CSV file. That happens on a very small scale industries, and for startups, like very small startups, even with the kind of technology these days, a lot of companies and startups are moving to using really scalable databases. So for example, nowadays using cloud technologies is on a complete rage, right? So databases like Redshift or BigQuery by Google Cloud, or Azure, SQL Server. So learn to use one of these databases, right? Either pick any database, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Redshift, Azure, whatever you want to pick. Go ahead and learn the intricate details of the database. Learn what is a sort key, what is a dist key, learn about how queries are queued in your databases, what is your database important, or what advantages does your database provide. See how your work fits in with the database. The more you know about the database, the better it is for debugging stuff. So one, programming language; second, database; third are serverless functions. So basically nowadays, these days, serverless functions are everyone's favorite, right? Because you don't have to maintain any architecture. It's serverless. You just write your code and you just you just create an event to trigger that code. And a lot of times, debugging stuff or testing something new using serverless function is very important, especially if you're working with cloud. I think these days pretty much every company is moving to cloud, and therefore when you're working in a cloud, if you want to test something with the database, if you want to test something with some kind of ETL testing, then using a serverless function is very convenient actually. Why? Because you are within the environment of the cloud, and it is very easy to connect to various elements present in the cloud. You can connect to Redshift, or connect to a database, connect to a bucket, do some random numerical computation. I think serverless functions are very important. In fact, I have a lot of tutorials on AWS Lambda serverless functions. AWS is something, if you become an expert on AWS, I think you have a lot of job opportunities waiting for you. So make sure to learn the details of serverless. In fact, I'm going to put up more videos on serverless, how to use SAM and stuff. So I think serverless is a very important topic, and make sure it's free also. Like in AWS, I remember 1 million runs are free every month. 1 million is a lot. So don't worry about cost. You can easily learn serverless through the online material that is available. Next, I think the most important language, I think a language that pretty much every developer needs to know, is SQL, structured query language. I think if you want to become a data engineer, in fact, if you want to become any kind of engineer, SQL is a language that you have to know, because you have to work with databases every time, no matter which side of the stack you are working on, whether you are a backend developer, front-end developer, data engineer, data scientist, whatever you are. I think SQL is an important querying language that is very important to know. and you need to learn the various details of SQL, like joins, window functions, or doing some kind of average, or basically all the things that come with SQL are very important to make your life easy actually. So learn SQL. Someone posted a question saying any good site for learning SQL. We'll definitely discuss that in the Q&A session. So keep watching. If I discuss it now, the flow will break. So let's go ahead. So SQL is very important. Now, if you're a junior developer, if you're applying for a junior data engineering position, I think these you can get away with learning these four skills. If you are fresh graduate from from a college and you are applying for a junior data engineering position, if you learn these four things, then you are easily qualified for applying for a data engineering position. Next, go ahead and see what more you need. Learning more is never going to be wasteful, so you will always get a benefit out of it. So let's go ahead and see what are the four skills that are required if you want to become great at data engineering, so you can easily set yourself apart from other candidates. Important thing is version control. Version control basically is being used in every company, no matter how small, how big, or if you are a freelancer, you work alone. I think version control is the very important software, or let's say it's part of your work now, whether you're using Git or you're using Mercurial or SVN is, I think, long gone. I don't know if any companies use SVN, but you need to learn a version control. In fact, learn Git. If you learn the Git, it will be very easy for you to work in a development environment. You are not going to work alone. You will work with 5 6 other people. You will work on different features, and then you are going to push your features that you build using Git, using version control, and then people are going to review it, and finally it is going to be pushed to master. So learning version control is not just important, I think it also builds a respect for you. I know people in my company, people really respect certain developers who are really good at version control. So I think learning version control is really important. If nowadays people already have a GitHub account and they're already putting the PRs. If you don't have one, make sure to create a GitHub account, learn the basics of Git, and learn how to work with PRs and stuff. Learn how to work with Branch, learn how to work with Rebase, learn how to work with Squash, Git commit amend. These are important things, the basics that you need to know. It will be really helpful for you in a data engineering interview. Next, one of the advantages of knowing version control or knowing Git is that you can work with continuous integration and continuous delivery, CI/CD basically. Technology has come a long distance now. Nowadays no one waits for putting their code, making their code, and then running it on server and all that stuff. No, what you do is you push your code to a GitHub repository, and automatically all the integration is done, so your pipeline starts running. That is the idea of CI/CD. Every change you make, automatically all the changes happen in your pipeline and is shown in the master, is basically shown to the people you want to show. All the changes are made automatically. Nowadays websites or platforms like GitLab, GitHub, they already have their CI/CD application. So we are already using, in my company, we are using GitLab CI/CD for our data engineering pipeline. Every time we make a change, we push it, it is reviewed, it is pushed to master, and then automatically all the tests, all the processes are run. So CI/CD is also an important thing that you should know. I think is an important skill set that is really going to set you apart from other candidates. Being comfortable with knowing the intricate details of CI/CD, building a YAML file, configuring your entire CI/CD pipeline, I think is very important and skillful technique. I think it requires some skill to build a nice CI/CD pipeline. So if you have a chance, make sure to learn CI/CD using GitLab or GitHub or Jenkins, whatever you want. So I think it's going to be really useful for you. Next, I think one of the important things, and I think all the things we discussed now, very few people are going to see the changes in them. I mean, they're going to witness, or they might witness the change in it. The the seventh thing, or the seventh skill set that is really going to impact everyone in the company, is basically knowing to how to use a BI tool. Now, no, not everyone in the company is going to look at your Python code. Not everyone in the company is going to look at your GitHub repository, right? They are going to see what changes or what features is being shown in the BI tool. So something like Looker or Tableau or Power BI or Periscope. I mean, there are a lot of BI tools these days. Most of your stakeholders are going to get business relevant data through these BI tools. So knowing those BI tools, I think, is very important. Creating charts, visualizations, building transformation that is relevant to the business, marketing insights, sales insights, a lot of things that you can think of, revenue, finance. I think the major impact of all data engineering work is seen through a BI tool. So if you have a chance, try to learn one of the BI tools. I think I'm going to start a session on learning Looker very soon, but there are a lot of BI tools that you can learn, and if you know one of those BI tools, I think you already a recruiter is already going to catch you as an interesting candidate. So try. They already have, I think they all have 1 week of free trial. So go ahead, download it, try to work with it, and see how their BI tool helps you to build transformations of BI data in a much interesting way. And the final thing, it is a bit sad, but I think it is also super relevant. I think one of the important things is that lot of companies, even though they have a BI tool, they have a really good data pipeline, but they're still working on Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel. It's like you will see, you provide them with all the tools, you provide them with everything, but they're still doing some of their transformation with Excel or Google Sheets. Why? Because it's very flexible, right? Anyone can create a Google Sheet or an Excel, open up an Excel, create some data, create some visualization. It's on the go. You don't need any kind of knowledge. With BI tools, you have to depend on the data engineers that are there in your company. With Google Sheet or Excel, you don't need to depend on anyone. So it's very flexible approach. And small scale industries like or startups, they usually are working with these kind of tools, right? Excel or Google Sheets, because they don't want to work with database, create all that data pipeline. That's a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. So I think as a data engineer, you need to know the various ways to work with Excel or Google Sheet. Believe me when I say this, a lot of times I feel my data engineering knowledge is less, because no matter what I do, sometimes some stakeholder comes to me and says, hey man, I have this table in Google Sheet, can you transform it? And then I have to write a Python code to ingest the data in Excel or Google Sheet, do my transformation, and then put it back again in Google Sheet. I mean, it's fun, I do that, but if you know Google Sheets and Excel, how to work with them, you can easily do them on the fly, and then your stakeholder is already impressed. So I think these are the 8 important skills that you need to understand the various details to become a really skilled data engineer. And the more you work as a data engineer, the more skill you will develop. But eventually you need to have at least this much skills to apply for a data engineering positions. So I hope it was an interesting session for all of you. I discussed the 8 skills that are relevant. I think I have talked with some recruiter from my company, and they will also agree with me, I hope. um, let's now go ahead and discuss some questions that people have put up. So if you have any doubts, put them down in the comments. Mohammed Irfan, any good site for learning SQL? I think Mode SQL is really good. If you go to mode.com or something like that, if you type in Google Mode, MODE SQL, they have a really good tutorial on SQL. I think it's really nice. They have all the details covered. You can easily learn every step that is required in an SQL. Actually, these days there are so many tutorials, you don't even know which tutorial is good, which tutorial is bad. So check out Mode SQL. I think it's going to be super relevant for you. Um, How important into tech, how important is multi-threading and multi-processing as a data engineer? Huh. To be honest, uh, I think every aspect of software engineering is important. All right. I won't say some aspect is not important, but if you want to, I think the impact shows more when you go up the ladder. So 5 6 years of experience, then you start discovering multi-threading and multi-processing. These days, when you work with technology, things are already automatically scalable. For example, Redshift is automatically it scales automatically. So a lot of things you don't really need multi-processing, multi-threading, the knowledge for getting started in data engineering. But yes, when you want to become a senior data engineer, lead data engineer, you want to manage a whole team, these small things will definitely play out a big role in your career or in the work you are doing, because the more you know about small things, the better you will become at debugging and testing things. So I think it's really important. Could you share videos with GUI from zero to hero? Man, I think it's a Udemy course or something. I don't really watch Udemy courses. I prepare my material myself. But I think GUI courses, I think TK or something, we'll have to see. I can't promise you anything right now, but I'll let you know. I'm currently focusing more on data engineering, object oriented programming, and other stuff. So, yeah, can't really promise anything right now. I'm 4 years experience now, mainframe background. What will be the best way to get into data science, machine learning? Should I do some certification or can I learn things free online? You can learn everything free online. You can literally learn everything free online. You don't need to do a certification. Although I do understand the importance of a certification, I think it starts you from a basic. When you're studying alone or when you are training alone, what happens is you become haphazard. So you start here and then you get frustrated, you go somewhere else, you get frustrated. You have to work way more harder when you don't have a pure proper guideline. So certifications do tend to provide you with that. But having said that, whatever I'm doing today, I have learned free. I was a mechanical engineer, then I went into transportation engineering. Today I'm a data engineer. I didn't do any kind of certification. So that's what I said. Like, certification get you a degree, it won't get you the skill or the knowledge. So your wish though. I won't say certification is bad. I think certification is good, but you can easily learn things online. The number two in your list, database and SQL query at number four, is it the same? No, it's not the same. I think SQL is a basic language, structured query language, how to query a database. Learning database is more like every database has its own eccentricities, like MySQL, PostgreSQL are different. Similarly, MySQL, Redshift are different. So you need to learn about different things, how primary key works in all the databases, how distribution keys, sort keys work in databases, how different databases work with compression, which is the best database for updating data, which is the best database for storing data. Database is its own entity. Then as you learn SQL in order to query the database. Also what happens is every database has its own form of SQL. SQL is very common, but like if you learn generic SQL, you can easily get away with 90% of stuff. But after that, you have to learn some specific SQL related to the database. So Transact SQL, TSQL is different from Oracle SQL, is different from PostgreSQL, is different from Redshift. Redshift is based on built on PostgreSQL. So yeah, but yeah, the idea is that I think you have to learn something about, pick one database, learn about it, learn how to create stuff, and then learn some basic SQL. So and then get into the eccentricities of using SQL with that particular database. So I think it will become very much easier for you. Hisham Kulambil, thanks Lenin. Where I can get correct things for a correct start online. Okay, so I think that's a big question. I think if people knew exactly the correct things for a correct start, I don't think there would exist so many materials. But truth be told, I think start learning, just Google. So, for example, if you want to learn SQL, go to Mode SQL. I really like that website. If you want to learn Python, check out my YouTube channel. I think there are a lot of stuffs I have covered in Python that are really useful for data engineering. If you want to learn databases, pick a database, then go into the documentation, learn it. Serverless functions, I have a lot of videos on serverless function on AWS Lambda. Go ahead, watch them, do the exercise that are in the videos. You will learn a lot. So it's more about practicing. One material is never going to be enough, and that's why also I think I want to mention the website, the blogging website that we have started. So instead of making multiple articles on one topic, people can easily update and do stuff, and we have one article for everything. That's the idea behind the blogging website. So I hopefully in 2 or 3 years it is going to be something that a lot of people will read and contribute to. But now I think you have to do a little bit of homework. Just start something. If you don't like it, continue, search for something else, and you'll get the hang of it. If you want something, you can easily find it. I don't think there is any other way currently. All right, if you have any more questions, I'm gonna be here for 2 or 3 minutes more. Please put them down in the comment section. Also, make sure, also let me know how you like this live session. I think I'm going to, based on your criticism, compliments, comments, I'm going to make my next live session even much more better. Um, can I learn serverless function on AWS for free and some start steps? Yes, you can learn it completely for free. So create an account on AWS. It requires a credit card. I think, but then when you go to AWS Lambda, you are not charged for anything. 1 million runs are free. So invoking your AWS Lambda functions, you can invoke it 1 million times for free per month. 1 million is a lot. I mean, 1 million is around like 30,000 invokes every day. So I think you can easily learn it for free. I already have videos on AWS serverless function on my YouTube channel. Watch them, learn them. You don't have to spend a penny to learn AWS serverless functions. Prerequisites for Python, nothing. No prerequisites for Python. I think, okay, probably the only thing I would say is know a little bit of English, but I think you already know that. I mean, you're putting questions here on English. Python, if you want to start Python, all you need to know is probably how to download Python, how to write Python. That's it. If you go to my beginners tutorial on Python, you will easily find out that you don't have to know anything. I've explained everything. So it's for the most basic beginner. So go ahead, try the tutorials. If you have any questions, put them down as comments, and me or someone else will answer it. Also check out pylearning.com blog, where you will see a lot of articles related to Python and data engineering, and slowly you will develop it. The best way to learn something is to do a little bit every day, not a lot. Like do 8 hours one day and then don't do it for 1 week. Don't do that. If you really want to learn something, do a little bit every day, and then you'll get a hang of it. Session on serialization and deserialization. I think you are talking about JSON, right? If you're talking about JSON, then it's already on my YouTube channel. Check out the data engineering playlist. There you have a video called reading JSON files and stuff like that. There I have discussed about serialization and deserialization. So if you still don't find it, put down in the comment section. I will send you the message. Um, Irfan, great, very useful advice. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. How to use algorithm? Just use it. What do you mean? How? Just use it. Go for. If you want to learn any algorithm, Google it and then see what the algorithm does. Then just without listening to anyone, write a programmatic version of it. Don't look into methods, libraries, and stuff. Just see how you can build the algorithm in Python. Once you get a hang of it, then look how other people have implemented it. Go to Stack Overflow, go to other websites, see how other people have implemented it in your programming language. If you're talking about Python, yeah, I think if you Google in Stack Overflow, you will find a lot of implementation. Then you will learn a lot. how request library is helpful in the way, or request library is the most helpful library you will find, especially, okay, maybe not only request library, but request and pandas. If you are working, if you want to become a data engineer, and the two important libraries that are very important are request and pandas. Request basically helps you to parse data from websites, and basically then you can work on it. OAuth 2, OAuth authentication, all kinds of protocols are covered in request library, and you can easily work with different kinds of data sets. In fact, I made a video on how to do how to use request library with Quandl. Quandl is an online data set which has a lot of data. So basically, if you want to learn data engineering, I think that's the best place to go. I think it was shown in the reading and writing CSV files, the video. Go to data engineering playlist. You will see how I have used request library to get data from the website. Okay then. So make sure, thank you guys for joining me. Make sure to check out my Instagram page, PyLenin. Every day you will find something new and interesting about Python, Python tips, tricks, questions, blog posts, video updates, everything. Also check out pylenin.com, the blogging website. Make sure to contribute something, anything you want. So basically we can add it. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you joining me for this session. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Thank you.